Shang-Chi, man. And I got some experts on the panel, as you guys can see, with that knows the comic book lore. But excitement level for this comment here regarding the lead actor saying that this is going to be a little bit more of a smaller, intimate feel to it. But just my question to the panel, starting with you, Leo, just what's your excitement level for this movie, and what are you expecting to get from a Shang-Chi?
Oh my God. So I grew up reading the Master of Kung Fu comics. I am extremely excited for Shang-Chi. I'm loving to hear that it's going to be a little bit small and more intimate. What I really want to see, though, is I want to see some great fight choreography, a la Daredevil, a la Punisher, hallway fight scenes type stuff. I want to see some like Marvel bringing in some kung fu action, and I want to see long takes. I want to see that Jackie Chan style long take, not quick cuts. Like I want to see a full-on martial arts beat 'em up movie. Now I love the aspect of also getting a bit more of an intimate affair. I like that we're getting Asian representation in the MCU, so I like the sound of that and being able to explore the culture. But man, I want them to go like 10 out of 10 on that fight choreography, because I feel like we were robbed with, what was it, Iron Fist? Yeah, Iron Fist kind of got stripped there.
We don't talk about her. We don't know her.
Man. Well, I thought that was such a missed opportunity for Marvel to just go straight martial arts and really get into the great fight choreo. So I really want to see some amazing, legendary fight scenes out of this movie.
Hey man, we might have a second take with Iron Fist and with this multiverse situation. Maybe he can get, because apparently there's like some martial arts tournament that's going to be in the mix with this movie, which gets me really excited for that. Because like you said, Leo, I'm a big karate fan. I love me some good hand-to-hand combat, and I think still to date the best fight in the MCU was Winter Soldier, and Cap on that highway, the street scene. To me, that hand-to-hand combat was great, but I want to see even more in the MCU. So kick it into you, Owen. Again, being a big comic book fan that you are, if there's some particular things that you're looking forward to from the comics that you want to see in this film, and also not to neglect that this is subtitled The Legends of the Ten Rings. So we're getting the Mandarin. We're getting, we haven't seen the Ten Rings since Iron Man 1. So what have they been up to this whole time? Just kind of your thoughts on that, man.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting just that they are doing a Shang-Chi movie. When that came out, that was something they were developing. I thought that was a really interesting move for them. Like you guys were talking about, they went in the martial arts direction in Iron Fist, and it didn't work. Not because of it being martial arts, just because that show was trash. And to put it nicely, that show was certainly not Daredevil. But it's nice that the kind of failure of that hasn't put them off from exploring that genre and that style of storytelling. So I'm excited for that. But the Mandarin stuff's really what intrigues me about Shang-Chi, because obviously what they did with the Mandarin character in Iron Man 3 is quite divisive. People either quite like the way they kind of subverted that character. Some people don't like it. I thought it was an interesting approach. I think it works in the sense that we get two great Ben Kingsley performances, but then we also do get Guy Pearce with his tribal tattoos, which I could do without. But yeah, I'm very interested in seeing what they do with the Ten Rings, because like they've been a part of the MCU from the very beginning. They're almost like the catalyst of everything if you think about it. So going back to that lore and going back to, the quote unquote real Mandarin is going to be really interesting. And, talking about the notion of doing a big fight tournament, I'm getting big Mortal Kombat vibes already. And, I'm just really eager to see what they do with this. It's Shang-Chi's not a character I'm as well versed in as others. I have just a kind of a general knowledge of him and his lore, but it's something I'm glad Marvel aren't afraid to branch out and do more of these obscure characters. And it'll probably be great.
Hey, I think it will be, and this is definitely one of my top tier in regards to anticipation level for Marvel. And kicking it to you, the Blurb regarding just your expectations for this film, and Daniel Cretton, who I'm a big fan of his work, whether it be Short Term 12 or was it 2 years ago, Just Mercy. He's a very kind of character driven. He dives into the psyche of his characters and really kind of fleshes out his characters. So, what's kind of your anticipation level for this film? And again, going to these quotes, it's a smaller, more intimate feel. What's your thoughts on kind of what we're maybe expecting with this film?
I agree. I think because of the director, that's why it's going to feel small and more intimate. But you cannot do a Marvel movie without having a fight scene, and I completely agree. I want to see I want to see a full 5, 7, 11-minute nonstop fight scene without quick cuts so that we can actually see. Look, you do not put Michelle Yeoh in a movie without giving her a fight scene. They even did that on Star Trek Discovery the last season. They finally gave her a series of fight scenes. Like you don't put her in, one of China's classic, martial artists in a movie and not have a serious fight scene. And Simu Liu has been pretty clear about like, I'm working out. This is me doing all this stuff behind the scenes. I'm showing up. I'm doing what I need to do. So I am also excited. I did not. It's interesting. I didn't get into the Mandarin character that much because, to be frank, he was written kind of racist back in the day. I'll just be frank. And so I was nervous. Well, first of all, I didn't like Iron Man 3, not because of the Mandarin, but because that is not how you use extremists. You don't give it to Pepper. I was very upset about that. I was here to see an extremist fight, and it just, I wasn't happy with Iron Man 3 at all. I was one of those people.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tattoos, all the other stuff didn't help. But in the comics, it's not been a handled character. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we have a majority of Chinese cast and we have people that are sensitive to that, I think Mandarin now could be handled better. I didn't hate how the 10 rings were handled in Iron Man 1, but you're right, we haven't heard anything since then. Yeah. I do want to see something more nuanced, something that has a little bit more. I mean, even the hand had problems in the comics, but at least something that has a little bit more lore that they can play out, that maybe they can pull into some of the Disney Plus, things as well, Yeah. But I'm excited because this is one kind of like Guardians. When Guardians was first announced ages ago, I was like, huh? Like, is anybody who's not a comic book reader going to know this?
Mm-hmm. For real.
But look what they did. So I am looking forward to it. Like I'm anticipating it, and I'm really excited to see what they do because I think this could be really good.
I'm right there with you, and tossing it to you, Chris. Again, the Mandarin, Ben Kingsley. You'll never see me coming. Your thoughts on the Mandarin coming to the mix? This quote here being more small and intimate, and just your expectations for Shang-Chi and the karate and the hand-to-hand combats. This great cast. What you're looking forward to with this film, Chris?
Yes, same. I didn't like the handling of the 10 rings in the Iron Man series and whatnot. Just the lore, I think, is interesting, but they just kind of, I don't know, laughed it off or brushed it off to the side. And now we're getting to see what they're really going to do. And even them just mentioning that, the movie's going to be small, more intimate, I think does sound like a good thing. I like how not every Marvel movie has to be a huge event or leading to something. Just a personal story involving Shang-Chi and, how he's going to fight the Mandarin and whatnot, and whether he's going to be a setup to continue being a villain throughout the MCU or just in the Mandarin film. I mean, in the Shang-Chi films, what I am most looking forward to is the Kung Fu battles. Cause I mean, I grew up watching them Jackie Chan movies, and I feel like they just don't make fight sequences like they used to. The closest thing is like, John Wick, but even John Wick, I think Jackie Chan, like even in a movie like Rush Hour, movie like Rush Hour does not deserve the fight scenes it has with Jackie Chan in them. So I'm looking forward to the fight scenes in Shang-Chi.
I'm excited for it as well, man, and seeing the Legends of the Ten Rings. And once you have that power, what does that mean? Does it have any connections to Ronan's character when he was out slaying people and killing people and putting matters into his own hands? So what that can mean for the greater MCU and things of that nature. So I'm really looking forward. And also, if there is a karate tournament, what other characters are going to be making their way into this tournament? It really gets me excited. So again, everyone in the chat and watch this on the replay, let us know your thoughts on this film, your excitement level, what you hope to see, and your thoughts on this being more intimate in a smaller film. Let us know in the comments below. So